Hi, I'm Christina Matheson. Welcome to the Power of Connection. So grateful to have Anthony Roros with us today. Anthony, thank you so much for being here.
I'm grateful to be here with you. Thanks for having us.
So happy, so happy. So, you know, the format of this and the basis of it is the power of connection and what it drives. And you've achieved success in so many different ways in your lifetime. I'm hoping you can share with us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you're at today.
Okay. What would you like to hear? I got to start from a child?
No, I don't want to hear that, you know, unless it's a cool thing. So, you know, I know that you have this big soccer background. Maybe you want to start there?
So that is actually the start of it, you know, growing up in Queens, in an immigrant community, son of an immigrant, playing this strange sport by myself, you know, until I found this great soccer club called Blau-Weiß Scotchair, all Germans, you know, being an only Greek. And they, you know, sport is important for kids growing up, you know, because it gave us the discipline, it gave us the ideas of how to work together and the importance of working together, the importance of unity and playing your role in a team. And I think this is the most important lessons I learned in my life.
It's your foundation. So it sounds like you built everything else on that.
Absolutely. And I'm grateful for the community that I grew up in and the soccer clubs that I had and you know, the way they pushed me. And it helped me to find, you know, my passion besides soccer, you know, in that same community as the years went by and it changed and I grew up and I finished playing and I got drawn, you know, to these kids that were just like me from a different country, immigrants, but just like me and needed the help that my club gave me. And then there was no one there to help them. And so I started coaching, you know, and found my passion, which is really helping people. And that is really the foundation of why I do real estate, because every day we're helping people.
Yeah.
I
think the common thread in a lot of the people that I speak to that have attained a certain degree of success is it's not that none of them are coming from a selfish place. They're all coming from a giving place and helping other people. So when did you first know that real estate was in your future? Like, was there a specific moment in time where you thought this would be a good idea? How did that evolve?
Well, real estate was always sort of lingering around my head, you know, as a child. My grandfather was a property owner in Washington Heights, where the Greeks when they first immigrated in the late 1800s, you know, they were up there in Washington Heights. And I used to go with my grandfather to collect rents. He would take me in his car and it was like a big deal, you know, as a kid. And I just remember this one question. One day I just said, Papu, in Greek, grandfather, Papu, how do you own all these buildings? He goes, I never sell anything. Just like that. And I was like, oh, so that was like, you make money. And then, you know, my father, an immigrant, that was my mother's father. So my father was immigrant and we lived, let me not say comfortably, but we lived with a roof over our heads because they bought real estate. That's what you do. You work until you have enough money to buy. And that was really, you know, always around for me. You know, somebody who was important in my life was he's a real estate agent, and his son, who I coached in soccer, is my closing lawyer, Chris Somopoulos. His father, Nick, I guess when I was about 35 years old, was trying to get me into the business with him. And we went to the steps to see the auctions and things like that. And, you know, and I always had it in my mind when we moved out from Queens out to Long Island. And the one that really opened my eyes, we bought the house in Smithtown. I'm going to say we bought the house for $165,000. It was.
When was this?
2001.
Okay.
And 3 months later, the same agent who sold it to us came knocking on the door, says, I have someone who wants to offer you $350.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm not selling. So he says, well, why don't you come into business with me? You know, there's a great business. So I actually went through the process. I didn't take the step at the time because I was busy with my soccer. I was growing. I had built the Pro World Soccer Academy at the time and was doing very well with that. And when the real catalyst, if I want to say, was being in the middle of a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And my 2 children almost ready for college, knowing that, I mean, lucky that they played soccer and I had connections and we could get some scholarship money, and they were smart enough, you know, to get some scholarship money. But if they wanted to go to a big time school, I didn't have the money to do it.
Right.
And a friend of mine, I'm going to give him a shout out, Chris Galuzzo, came to me and says, why don't you come work with me in real estate? I was like, boom, that was it.
That was the moment that you pulled the trigger.
I pulled the trigger because I knew I needed extra money. So I started it just as a side gig. I figured, let me do 1 check a month, 1 check every couple of months to help with what I was doing, which was my soccer business. At the time, I was director of coaching in Brentwood, at the Brentwood Soccer Club. And I figured, you know, an extra $5,000-6,000 a month would be big. I think I was only making that much money as a soccer coach, you know, all around. But my first check came in and it was $18,000.
Wow.
And I remember taking the check and showing it to my father. My father started to cry because he never saw so much money in one shot, you know? And I said,
Wow.
that was it. The soccer became my extra, and real estate was my real. And the reality is those people are still my friends. That was my first closing. We sold them in Huntington Station. 3-4 months ago, I just sold them, helped him buy his second investment property. So it's helping people. That was their.
What does that feel like for you when you have people from your past, when you were just starting, come back to you and you're seeing them prosper and achieve all of these dreams? What does that feel like?
So that's the real fulfillment in probably any business, right? But to see how you can change somebody's life just with being there for them and guidance and your knowledge, and making sure that, not even making sure, you're just helping them. And sometimes it's just a sounding board. They already know, you know, this is not I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces in getting the deal done. And that's what we're good at, is making sure that the moving pieces are all in the right spot. But when you know they went from struggling to get that first down payment and you help them, you know, to now you're buying rental properties and everybody's happy. The kids have grown, good schools, and they're in college now, and your friends, and they invite you to holidays. Like, that's life. That's life. That's, you know, creating your community is really fulfilling, really satisfying. And
so in terms of success as you define it, has your definition of success from 20 years ago changed to your definition of success now? What did you think that you were striving for, and what do you know that you really were striving for now?
So, you know, there's different stages in life where I think if you talked to me 20 years ago, I was on a rung of life. If you look at life as, you know, there's something called the world sucks chart. It's an actual thing. Okay. And it's a funnel. And at the bottom of the funnel is the man hanging on to the first rung. He's trying to take care of himself, you know? And so you put yourself up to that rung, and now you got your family, and you're able to take care of yourself, and now you're taking care of your family. So 20 years ago, I think I was, you know, just pulling myself up there, and I had to take care of my family. and now I'm firmly on top of that rung, and you're taking care of your community. And so that's the different outlook. After the community, you have larger things. And one of my higher purpose is a global real estate based community that can, I don't think we'll ever be able to eradicate it, but to help feed the hungry children. We have 80,000 hungry children go to sleep. 80,000 children go to sleep hungry in Long Island every night. This is absurd. And you're involved with some of the stuff that is red tie, tied in, whatever, pink tie, tied in, but there's larger organizations. And so it's a different outlook altogether. Hopefully you never get to have to look back and be on a, fall down a rung.
Right.
Obviously that's life. You never know, but
it happens to so many and nobody ever expects it. Right.
But you have to be looking forward. And now I look, thank God, that we're capable and we have the resources and now the support. KW was a big move for me 5-6 years ago.
Tell us about that.
KW provided structure to my business, structure, support, and education. I always say I didn't know a thing about business, even though I was running a business in my soccer world.
Right.
But it was no real structure, just me running, taking teams in, taking players in, having a spreadsheet. Was nothing. But and my real estate business was really, I'd say, winging it mostly until I got to KW, and then this magical book, this magical book. Right. And now I teach it. As you see, I got the binded version.
Yes.
So I'm a teacher of this book. And it made all.
What does that book teach?
That gives you the model. This is our Bible on how to build a netting $1 million a year business, real estate business, and to get you to 7 levels of your business. And the 7th level is to be able to remove yourself from your business and your structure is running so that you're basically collecting a passive income. Right?
Beautiful.
So they teach you how to get through the 7th levels. You're just a single agent, you're doing, somewhere, 20 to 25 deals a year, then transactions a year, and that's too much for you to handle. You have to hire your admin, what to look for in your admin, how to hire your admin, what's the next hire, where's the buyer agents going to come from,
right?
How to do the hiring, what are the numbers should look like, what is your P&L should look like, where your spending should be. It's amazing.
How does this help your clients, having you be able to do this and do it well?
Obviously, a lot of this business is people winging it.
Mm-hmm.
By having this knowledge and being able to run my business well, I'm able to show my clients step by step what they should expect. There's no surprises for them. There's no mistakes in the transactions. And it provides for them a smooth, safe, easy transaction.
And peace of mind. When they're working with you, they have peace of mind.
They have peace of mind that I'll be able to guide them to the finish line and a happy ending.
So one of the things that I know about you, so we have a mutual friend that you are currently helping with a property in Brooklyn. And when you first met him, you were not immediately ready to say, okay. He was like, okay, let's sell. And you said, hold on a minute. Let's take a look at this. And I love that about you. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I think it goes back to the very beginning of this conversation is, you have to come from contribution. You have to come, I try to do what's best for my clients,
Right.
best for the person. Everybody's a human, everybody's a person, everybody has a family. I'm not there to make a check from you. I'm there to help you build your wealth, to help your family feel safe, to give you stability. And I come at it like that. And I mean, it comes back in spades, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I never look at anybody, not just a client, as a one-time interaction. This is a relationship, and our business is about building relationships. And that's one of the main things I really love about this business is you build relationships. So if you do what's right for the person, that person's going to do more in the future, and that person's going to say good things about you.
Which is everything that you want. You want them to say good things about you. So, you want those raving fans. So what's a common misconception about what you do in real estate that, what do you think is the most common big misconception?
That's an easy business and anybody can do it. And the one that gets me is you always see it at the closing table is we make too much money. But they really don't understand that it's most of the time a 4 or 5 month process for us to get paid, and the amount of work and the amount of hours that we put in. And it's the knowledge that you have.
Right.
It's not just a net deal. It's the years of putting it in to be able to get to that moment. And
it's the experience. How do you stay on top of your game in terms of education? Like, how do you continually educate yourself?
Many ways, right? KW, we are everyday classes in the office on Zoom. We have a huge network of trainers and coaches that are constantly pushing us and keeping us abreast of the cutting edge. Now the big keyword is shift, thrive in the shift. So they're doing that. And yesterday I went to got invited by a mortgage company to go see a trainer. I guess you're going to call him a trainer. Is Jay.
Was it Joe Sonona?
Aldavian.
Okay.
That was
Aldavian.
It
was good.
It was very good. And a lot of what we're talking about here, he was saying, like, he called it a comm line. And that's what's your communication line. So like for me, one of the big niches for me in my business is my soccer world. So that's a comm line, so that was right. Creating comm line, not just talking to one person at a time. We have a comm line between us, right? A communication line. The people that are available to me, and the people that I know are available to you. So creating that in multiple, areas, and then servicing them, treating them well, being available, events, things like that.
It's also important. So when you first got into real estate, so you kind of put your toe in the water and then you went in all the way. Is this what you expected, or did you think it was going to be different?
Obviously it's not what you expect. Nothing ever is. I didn't know how good I was going to be at it. That's to be honest.
You have to be honest. And that's the huge benefit to your clients, is that you really are so good at that. And that's a driver for your business.
I think this business, I can only speak for it. We're going to go back to my history as an athlete and my competitiveness, and more than my desire to win was how much I hate to lose.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose for my clients. Never.
Is that your superpower? What's your superpower? Everybody has one.
That could be it. That could be it.
Your drive?
My competitiveness,
Yeah.
I say, when I was a soccer player, I never tied my shoes before the game without already having won the game. And
Yeah.
it's in my head. I won it already. There's no thought that I'm going to lose this game. I'm getting on the field and I'm going to win. I'm going to win or I'm going to kill you. That was my mentality as a player. But, that's superpower. But I think the drive and the will to do well for people, I think maybe my superpower more is my heart.
Tell me.
I don't know. It's a feeling for people, I want to see people do well. I want to help people. Helping people is my superpower. I'm always.
That's really what drives you.
That's what drives.
Because even what you just said is you want to do the best for people. That doesn't even, competitive is one thing, but you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for them.
Correct.
That's a real common thread from, the many people that I speak with. For somebody that's just getting into real estate, so you must meet a lot of people where you are that are considering real estate or they've just gotten in. What advice would you give them?
That's funny because I recruit a lot of people into the business new. In fact, this week too, and last month, my daughter, who's now.
How's that going?
Very well. She just had her first closing already.
Very nice.
In 3 months, her first closing and her first investment property as well.
Wow. Sometimes it's hard to work with our kids because I know with mine, they do listen to me. They're wonderful, my kids, but I always found that our kids listen to us last and sometimes other people first. So did you, how did it go with you with your daughter?
Me and my daughter's my mini me.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And
so do you buck heads sometimes?
Never.
No.
Never, because
share a brain?
Share a brain.
Very nice.
Right now, if I had to talk to her, I could just think in my head and my phone will ring. Like, wow. That's how connected we are. So I don't have a problem with my daughter. The reason I don't have a problem with my daughter is because I know she's me, so I can never tell her what to do.
Yeah.
You
just get it.
I let her do what she has to do. And she knows when she gets stuck, she comes to me. Yeah. And well, if you would have came to me before, you wouldn't have got stuck. So this is what you have to do now. And it's just like, thank you, Father, all the time. But
that's great
advice. I wish that I had started the business at KW.
Yeah. How come?
Where I started and subsequent 3 or 4 other brokerages that I went to before I got to KW, there was nobody helping you. There was no support. There was no culture.
Yeah.
There were no mentors. It was just, okay, you got your license here, go.
Right.
And, obviously I made my way through my soccer people. Mm-hmm. The kids that I was training, their parents were my clients and my past teammates. And so, social media is important, right? In this world. So
tell me why.
People have to know you're in the business. It took about 18 months for people to know Anthony Roros, the soccer guy, as Anthony Roros, the real estate guy.
Okay.
And now a lot of people don't even know about my soccer.
Funny how that works.
Right? It's 15 years later or so, but the important part is to let people know what you're doing. So when you're starting out and you just got your license, and one thing I have everybody do, my daughter do, is at least 20 calls a day to people who are in your phone. Hello. Mm-hmm. Just want to let you know, I'm at KW. I'm working with Team Roros, and we have a great team. I can help you with any real estate issues that you're having, or solve any problems that you're looking to buy, sell, invest, whatever. We have a script that we go through, and just do that. Make 20 calls a day to the people who know you and to let them know, and to do that 4 times a year to your whole database, your but that's in your phone, and then social media, you know?
So it is all the power of connection, right? You have to make new connections, but stay connected to those people that you know and that already know, like, and trust you, which I think is so important, but the power of connection.
More than new people you meet, way more than new people you meet are the people who already know, love, and trust you.
Mhm.
To people.
Yeah, I think that, sometimes when we meet new agents, they're afraid to put themselves out there. What do you say for that?
Fear killed the warrior. That's what I say. Kick fear in the, you know what?
Yeah.
And just get on it. There's really no room for fear in any in your life. If you're going to fear speaking on the phone to somebody that you've never met before.
Yeah.
And I have a group that I'm training, and it's strange. People are different. Some people are afraid to talk to people they know and who love them, and they have no problem doing a cold call. And some people, it's the reverse.
Yeah.
For me,
We're all different.
Yeah.
So your mindset training definitely has to come into play here, right? So from when you were an athlete and how you set your mindset, how do you train the newer agents to develop their mindset and utilize that?
It's like I'm going to teach you how to shoot a soccer ball. We have to do it thousands and thousands and thousands. Practice, but practicing the right way, right? So one of the things KW did for me was show me the right way. I'm sure you might have found it some other way, but everything is there, and everything is on paper for you to see, and with data for you to understand how it's going to work. Like, we know you're going to do what we call, calling your database in your phone. We call it DTD2, do the database twice, right?
Right.
I've heard this, right? So we take the alphabet, divide it in two. So every week we call 2 letters of that alphabet. The alphabet has 26 letters. That's 13 weeks. You get through your whole database in your phone, just to say, hey, how you doing? How's the family? What's going on? Anybody who's thinking of buying, selling, or investing, please give me a number now that I can call. Referral is.
What happens if you don't do that, Anthony?
Where's your business coming from?
And so your inner circle goes with somebody else to buy, sell, or invest in real estate because they didn't know.
Well, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And you get kicked in the teeth because, God damn it, that was one of my best friend, and he just bought and I'm giving you experience, a 1.2 in West Islip on the water, or wherever he was down there.
My.
I'm like, really? He's like,
and whose fault was that?
Yeah, it's my fault. So never be the secret agents. Let everybody know.
So from a client perspective,
I just wanted to get this one thing because it's so important. From your database, for every 15 calls you make, every 15 people you speak to who are in your phone, who know you and love you, you will close one deal.
Really?
Those are numbers we know for sure. For every 15 that you call and you speak to, you will close one deal a year. And you got to call them 4 times that year. Every quarter, they get a phone call to check in. So if you got 100 people, do the math. If you got 200 people, do the math.
Right.
I got 5,000 people in my phone. How much money do I leave sitting on the table?
That's right. And so let's talk about it from their perspective.
That's what's going to get rid of your fear. What's going to get rid of your fear? Get on the phone. So you ask me how I create the mindset.
Amazing.
Dollars.
So my question to you is, we talk about the fear of calling people on the phone, whether you're afraid to call people you're afraid to call strangers. What I know from my own life and from speaking to others is that we're so nervous about making these calls. And then when you get that person on the phone, they say, thank you so much for calling me.
Yeah.
And it's contrary to what we really think in our mind is going to happen. So what we're doing by doing that is reaching out to people and letting them know that we're there to help them. And they appreciate that. So your commitment to helping your clients and to letting them know that you're always there is so commendable. I think, people now think that they're going to bother somebody. We have a different society, right? When I was younger, people used to drop by or they used to knock at the door, and now that's unheard of. You don't just go to somebody's house.
Right.
So we have to reach out as best we can. And I think it's commendable because
Calling, not texting.
yeah,
Right. Calling is
can't call unless you say what time you're going to call.
Yeah. My brain works a little bit different. The blockage that I have in the phone, making the phone calls that I have to overcome every day is I feel bad that I'm not reaching out more.
Yeah. Feel like you're slacking.
I feel like I'm slacking. So if I didn't call you in 2 months and now I'm calling you, I want to call you more. I want to be in contact more. So
Right.
This is my constant struggle.
You want to help more clients.
I want to help more people. I want them to feel that I'm there for them. And, there's enough of Anthony to go around. So sometimes that's what eats at my brain. Like, oh man, I didn't call this person, in 2 months or 3 months. So I feel bad that way. I don't feel like I'm ever bothering them.
Right.
So that's not it's the opposite, that I'm not bothering
Because
them.
you're coming from contribution. That's why, because you're going to be helping them. So tell me, I know that you work in both residential and commercial real estate.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about the differentiation and how you're helping people when they're buying or selling a home or investing. But commercial, I think that a lot of people aren't familiar with. Can you just share a little bit of information about that?
There's a few different areas of commercial market, one of the things I like, and I'm working on a few right now, is someone who's starting a new business and is looking for a place and something that's going to work for them. And you have to find them a place to lease out, and you help them, get a lease that's favorable for them, that's going to allow their business to grow. That's something that's it's really fulfilling, because you get them the lease, and then, I have one right now is about to open up an Argentinian pizza restaurant.
Wow.
Right. So I find them the spot. I can't wait to go eat there. I can't wait to get clients there.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, he's an amazing cook. He's been doing it for years for somebody else. And now his boss has partnered with him to open up his own place.
So you're helping him achieve his dream.
Helping him achieve his dream. Of course, was a former player of mine that I coached, so that's like even double.
Power of connection.
He gave me his sister, who's opening a beauty spa, aesthetics, whatever, Botox kind of thing. I'm helping her. And she introduced me to her friend, who's a chiropractor, and now I'm helping that person. So this is, how that works. But commercial is, in some ways, it's just different. It's numbers game. Yeah. Right? It's not so much the emotion of buying and selling your primary residence, a place where you're going to live. Right. It's a numbers game. The other part is, what we do a lot of is like mixed use building, like our friends, our mutual friends, right? Mixed use buildings. Right. And I particularly enjoy this because usually, and not in our case, but usually it's immigrants. They came here, they've worked hard. They're just like my family. They've pulled up their cash. They want to have a store, and they're going to live upstairs. And that's how I grew up. We had a florist, and we lived upstairs. And then there was one more apartment to rent out, and we were good. Yeah. We were safe. So multifamilies and mixed use buildings is another part of the commercial arena that I do a lot of it in Ridgewood and Maspeth and Glendale and Middle Village and Astoria and Bushwick and Bed-Stuy. We do a lot of it in those
Yeah.
areas. And then, to go another step up in the commercial is office buildings, where we have clients a lot. I have a few clients who are in the medical field, and they're looking to buy their own office buildings where they can put. So if I think you met my one client, he's a physical therapist.
Mhm.
So we've sold him 6 or 7 buildings already, where
Nice.
he has his office, and then we fill the rest of the building with people who could feed his business.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
you've really built your business based upon you're getting to know people, they're getting to know you. When you help them achieve whatever their goal is, and they build that trust, they will never call anybody else to service their needs. You're their guy.
I think every one of my clients have become friends. The only one I can remember where I had an issue at the closing was because they were in a divorce. And that was 3 years ago. And now recently, both the husband and the wife have reached out to me to help them buy new houses.
That's a beautiful thing.
So they all become friends.
Right.
We do holidays, we do, we go out together. I try to do some events. You're going to help me do some events. I'm not good at it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So tell me, if we had to sum this up, when you're looking back at your younger self and you're sharing with your younger self or somebody else how to be successful in your business, but that's also success at life, how would you sum that up?
Pretty simple for me. I think it might be an Einstein quote, and that's probably wrong, but treat everything with love.
There you go. There you go. And you clearly love what you do.
Yeah, you have to.
And you love where you are, and you love the people that you're with. And it's just an amazing thing to hear. So is there anything that I missed, Anthony, in our chat today that you want to share with people, either the good, the bad, or the ugly? Like, what is it that they need to do to get to that next level? Did I miss anything?
No, I mentioned it, and that's to have a higher purpose. The higher purpose is so important. If you can every day wake up with that higher purpose tattooed the inside of your eyelids, then whatever path you take that day, and you're sure it's leading you that way, and yes, sometimes you can go like this, and sometimes you can go like that, but that you can make that question to yourself: if I'm going to step this way, is it still taking me to that road?
Right.
The road where I need to go. And you need to stay on your road. You need to stay on the path. Be consistent, be persistent, and treat it with love.
Amazing. Anthony, I want to thank you. I think what we've proven today really, again, is that the power of connection is everything, and we all have the power to create the life of our dreams. So I want to thank you for being with us, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. I enjoyed that.